Spent the morning listening to Lawrence Tribe, you can probably tell. He made an argument that all courts should just be live, should be on a news feed. Spent the morning listening to Lawrence Tribe. Okay. Here comes everyone. Good morning. I'm Judge Person. I'm going to be repetitive for a little bit, hoping that everybody gets connected, but I do welcome everybody to court this morning. And I do want to thank everyone for their time. I do have a number of people that need to be seen, and I'll make some announcements, but I want to go ahead and I did watch as everybody was logging in, and I did see, sort of a semblance of a line, which we'll stick to. But I do want to introduce the city's prosecutor, Mr. Ryan Matson. Mr. Matson is the equivalent of like a district attorney for the city. Mr. Matson, can you unmute and introduce yourself, please?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ryan Matson. I'm the prosecutor for Temple.
Thank you. The reason I had him go ahead and begin with that is that I'm going to go ahead and start. Mr. Semino, let you and Mr. Matson go ahead and break out and have a discussion while I make announcements, because I know that attorneys have been here before, and we'll get to y'all. We'll maximize our usage of time that way. So I will keep attorneys moving for the brief moment. I have a Zoom user, gentleman with a hat with sunglasses on top. I'm asking you to unmute if you could, and just let me know your name.
Dylan Cozart.
Okay, great. Good to have you here, Mr. Cozart. I just want to keep track of you. And I just want to let folks know a few things about municipal courts. Municipal courts are Class C courts. The cases filed here, they are Class C offenses. They result in the imposition of fines and costs if a person is found guilty, but they do not result in the imposition of jail time. People can get warrants for missing court dates. If you're here and you have a warrant, I will work with you the best that I can, because I recognize that you're here working on it. And so we'll work and see where we can get to, depending on the case itself. I do also want to let you know that before a plea is accepted by the court, you have the right to retain counsel of your choosing. And, if you need time to investigate that option, the way that you get that time is just to say, Judge, I need some time, and I will delay your case and give you an opportunity to meet with an attorney, and you can hire them or not. That's your choice. It's not something that then would obligate you to hire someone, but if you do, that's also fine. Ms. Ellison, could I just ask you, I think you're on 2 devices, and I just saw you like putting one up to the screen. What's happening there? Let me ask you to unmute.
Sorry, I had to use a hotspot to connect my tablet because my phone don't have no internet.
Okay. So I understand fully. Okay, no problem. I know you're on 2 devices, and sometimes if both audios get activated, you'll start creating an echo for yourself. And so I just wanted to kind of check in with you about that. And it looks like it's working fine. So very good. I will just leave it as is. Okay. Okay. We'll try to get to you. I understand what that means. So I'll try to get to you soon. You logged in quite early, so we'll be with you shortly.
Thank you.
And everyone I know has things they would probably rather be doing, but this is important. And I do want to go ahead and let you know just a few more things. So just back to where we were, that right to counsel is something that you invoke before you enter a plea. And once your plea is accepted by the court, you've waived that option. So if you're trying to do that again, you need to let me know so we can make the adjustment that we need to make there. I also want to let you know that when you're given a citation, or sent a complaint or a summons, those are methods under the law for accusing someone, and we are presumed to be not guilty. if you enter a plea of not guilty, you are moving your case toward trial. Most of our cases today are on that continuum. So I would, respectfully let you know there may be some options talking to the prosecutor. I know a few people from their emails might be trying to do that. That's fine. We also are moving the cases after the setting. We just move them into the courtroom because I presume they're moving towards a trial setting. This platform is really helpful to move things along, and it's convenient for folks, but it is by agreement. So if you would rather, instead of being in this platform, if you would rather reschedule and come in, that's also fine. So let me know that as well. I'm just presuming that folks are, agreeing to be here, and that it helps somehow. We all have work and children and things like that. So I still want to make it available. And then the next thing that I want to talk about is just that presumption and, the accusation. So when you give a plea, you're giving your answer, you're giving your response to the accusation. There are 3 options for pleading. Not guilty, we've talked about. Guilty means you're admitting an offense. You're saying, I did this. No contest means you're not admitting or denying the offense. You're just saying, let's move forward without me admitting or denying the offense, and let's move into sentencing, Judge. So those are the meanings of those pleas. But your plea is your own, and I cannot give you advice about what you should do. I can't give legal advice. So if you ask a legal advice type question, I'll have to defer. But let me go ahead and just pause for a moment. Mr. Mattson, Mr. Semino, I know y'all were talking about John Knight cases, plural. And if we could just get an update, that would be great.
Good morning, Your Honor. I've visited with the prosecutor, and we basically have an agreed reset. We're waiting on some videos, Your Honor, and so we're just wondering if your April 16th pretrial is available.
Okay, let me look. Probably. Let's see. Yes, it is.
All right, can we reset all 4 cases and then report to you at that point, Judge?
I believe so. Mr. Mattson, you're in agreement as well, yes?
I am, Judge. There's some video footage that I need to obtain from Animal Services.
No problem. And so I will just go ahead and email that to the email that we have on file for you, Mr. Semino. Will that work?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Very good. Okay, we'll see you then.
Thank you. Have a blessed
day. Thank you. And then I would move Mr. Swain and Mr. Mattson forward. And there we go. It's quite warm in here. I don't know. Oh, well, we'll just deal with it. And so the next thing I would say is if you're pleading guilty or no contest, I'm moving that case into sentencing. And there are dismissal options under the law. Oh, thank you very much. Somebody gave me a fan. There are dismissal options under the law for certain items under the law that can be what are called compliance dismissals. If you have, are you okay? Yeah. If you have something like that, the law, the language of the law says the judge shall dismiss. So on a plea of guilty or no contest, I'm automatically looking in that sentencing context. And I would do that automatically as the judge of the court. The second dismissal option is if you are able and qualified and agree to do a driver safety course option. With the driver safety course option, that one is actually dependent on the license and your history. And so I would see if you're qualified to be in that on a plea of guilty or no contest. I automatically look, because once again, the language says the judge shall do so. There you pay the court cost. The fine goes on hold. And then if you turn in your course and your record on time, the proper course, the proper record, the state statute is that the judge dismisses the case and waives the fine. So you tend, even though you're paying for those, the course and the record, you still will usually, well, you do clock in financially under the cost of the whole ticket, and you keep it off your record. So it's a good option if you qualify on a plea of guilty or no contest, but you're not You can't be forced to do it. It's an agreement thing. So I would let you know if you're qualified, because that statute dictates that I shall. And if you want to do it, I'll talk to you further. And if you don't, that's not a problem with the court at all. It's just a choice. And the third option for a dismissal is if you do a deferred disposition. Deferred is a delay, and a disposition is to make a thing final. So delaying making the case final, the judge of the court, if the judge approves, puts an order in place that lists the things that you need to do to gain your dismissal. And we discuss it at that point. But in a Class C court, on a plea of guilty or no contest, you are permitted to request a deferral directly from the judge. You may also talk to the prosecutor about it if you wish to do so. I don't have a way to tell that prosecutor, other than to be in court, how he, in this case, handles his cases. But if y'all come to an agreement, I generally will follow your agreement. It's not required that I do so, but if parties agree, I generally will follow. If not, I usually do give a brief explanation, but I'm not going to debate the ruling, but I will talk to folks about their options at that point. On a plea of guilty or no contest, if you request a deferral, a Class C court judge is required to entertain the request. So guilty or no contest, I'd like a deferred, is how that gets requested. And then the judge can say yes or no, and that ends the discussion at that point. So that's option 3. Unlike the other 2, you must request it. And the judge is supposed to assume that if you don't request it, you don't know. That you know, and you voluntarily waived it. So I do explain briefly, because I don't know that many people who got up and thought about that this morning. The fourth option is if you're a middle school, high school, or homeschooled student, we have a teen court program. And with the teen court program, it's somewhat like a deferral in the sense that there will be things to do to gain a dismissal. If you plead guilty or no contest, I actually start pushing teen court just a little bit. I'm allowed to do that to see if you want to do that, because it has the lowest recidivism rate, recurrence rate. And when we're talking about traffic, we're talking about safety. And when we're talking about criminal cases, we're talking about people's record and how that record can affect, for our young people, their future. So those are the dismissal options. If you need an excuse today after court, we can email one to you, but do let me know. And, we're here to work with you the best that we can. Dylan Cozart, you're actually the only person on my docket today. Everyone else is on my docket through the pretrial process. So meeting first with the prosecutor. And so, Mr. Cozart, I did want to let you know that I received the pleas that you entered and you wrote them down. And we have an expired motor vehicle registration charge. The fines and costs are at $286 because of warrant. I did receive a plea of no contest from you, and I did read the information that you submitted to the court, and I do thank you for letting me know about everything that's going on, and I will address your concerns. But before I do so, I need to ask on the registration charge, you did enter a plea of no contest. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then on the there is a violation of failing to neuter or spay an animal, and you entered a plea of no contest, and the fines and costs there are $391.30. Again, the case is in warrant, which I think we can get to a solution regarding, but is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then the vaccination charge that you were given, fines and costs are $391.30. Again, some warrant fees have been added, and therefore it may look a little higher than you might have expected. I did receive a plea of no contest on that charge. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so I also looked at everything, and I can order community service. I think I can do so. I had a quick question. You talked about not having employment, but then listed a job, and it looked like it could be like a partner's
Yes,
job.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that your partner's job?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. For community service, Let me look at that. Now, I noticed that you're in a different community. And I want to let you know that you'll have to find a provider in your community if you're not in the Temple area. But I have some instructions written that I will send to you for how to do that. Okay. So I'm not expecting that you would drive here, right? That wouldn't be very realistic. So you're in Tatum, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what happens is that I do order that you complete for your sentence 53 hours of community service. I'm going to give you a due date of 60 days from today, which is April 8th. If you are done and you get your hours turned in by that date and they're approved, then you're done. Okay. If you're not completed, you just turn in what you have done. Let the court know in writing how much time you think you need, and we'll move forward. I normally will grant extensions on that. I kind of don't know what you can get done where you are. So here, it probably wouldn't be a problem, but there I don't know. So what you're looking for, it has to be a nonprofit, and you'll need to get the place pre-approved, and we'll want to do that within the first 2 weeks. So that's February 20th. And there'll be a timesheet for you to keep track of your hours and some directions. Right behind that is going to be the pre-approval process for an outside provider from the list that I have. And again, the main thing is a nonprofit. Check churches, check schools, check city services in your community, food banks, things like that. Right? Are you with me so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then send that in by the deadline, and we'll check it and make sure that you're not wasting your time and let you know, hey, yes or no. And it usually works fine. And then you'll have written directions for how to find places and a list of local places, which won't help you directly, but it kind of gives you an idea of what you might be looking for. And then the last sheet is just going to need to be returned back. Actually, I don't need that one returned, so we won't send that one to you. Okay, so if I can use the email that we have on file, once actually there is a waiver, and I'm going to send that to you. And when you send it back, I'll know it's time to recall your warrants. Can you print it, sign it, and email it back today?
I should be able to.
Okay, great. If not, call the clerk and let them know what's going on, like when we can expect it. Okay, like tomorrow if it has to be, but it would be my preference to get the warrants recalled right away. Okay, and your signature is going to tell me that. Okay.
Okay. And what does that mean by recalled?
It means that you won't have a warrant that's active in the system anymore.
Okay, and so I'm trying to renew my license with that. Like, would I be able to renew my license after that?
Do we have a hold on his license? I'm looking to make sure I don't have a hold on your license. Give me a second to do that while I take Mr. Mattson and Mr. Swain on the single charge, I think, of Mr. Pino Perez.
Your Honor, Mr. Swain is going to take an offer back to his client. So if we could get a reset, that'd be great.
We can. I've got to find the file. I don't know what's happened to it. Let's see. Here it is. They're stuck together. Oops. Yeah. Well, I'm sure it's somewhere, and yes, we can. When's our reset date? Did we pick one, or do you need me to find one? I have no problem either way.
I think 30 days is probably enough, Mr. Swain, unless you'd like longer.
No, that should be fine.
Are we coming back onto this platform, or are we coming into court?
I think in person would be fine, Judge. Yeah, that would make sense for this case, I believe.
Okay, let's go to the 21st of March, because I'm expecting to be out during spring break. I just decided, so I need to tell the clerk that, but here it is. Here it is. There it is. Okay. 3/21. And we'll send that to your email. Will that work, sir?
Yes, Judge. I appreciate that.
Okay, then you're good to go, and you should expect that in your inbox sometime this morning.
Okay.
And without further request, you're excused. And
Thank you,
Mr.
Your
Al-
Honor.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Allen, I'll move you forward. I'm assuming your audio works. Let's check you.
How about that?
Perfect. I'll move you over to that
Good.
meeting. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so I'm just gonna circle back around, Mr. Cozart. Do we have a hold? Okay, I'm checking too. Just looking for that Omni fee. Yeah. That's all we gotta look for on that. Do we have Omni? Okay. Okay, so Mr. Cozart,
Yes, ma'am.
there is a hold on the license renewal until I complete the case. So
Okay.
you can get an ID after your warrants are recalled, provided you don't have any other warrants anywhere else, and I assume that you wouldn't. But you'll know that better than I could. But I need to get the hours back. Or is it on all of the cases or just the registration? Hold on just a moment. I'm trying to see if there's any wiggle room for us.
Is there any way I can explain the one about the registration?
Yes.
Okay, so it was I bought the car and it was an Indiana plate. It had an Indiana plate on it. I bought it from a soldier.
Hmm.
And I was actually going to work at the time and I had just bought it and I was running late to work, so I was going to work. A cop had pulled me over and I was like, "Hey, I just bought the car." Like I showed him the title and the sale the deal you write up and sign saying that bill of sale.
Yes, sir.
And he still gave me a ticket, but then I went up to take care of the ticket, and when I went up there, I don't remember where I went exactly, but they told me that there was nothing in the system. And I was like, okay, like what do I do? And the clerk at the time told me I wouldn't worry about it because the cop didn't file it. So I didn't even find out about the warrant until about a year ago. Uh, I actually left Central Texas because I was doing things I shouldn't be doing. I'm a recovering addict. So I'm trying to get my life back on track. And I'm trying to get everything taken care of. I'm working on getting everything taken care of so I can become a police officer if that's possible. So I'm just trying to make sure everything is taken care of before I try to proceed with any of that.
Very good. Okay. And I'm just looking, this is an older, I'm looking for give me just a moment. Where's the citation on that one? Daniel Kramer is an attorney that has a case today. Is that right? We have an email from Aaron. So let's see. I'm not seeing, I see his license when he came in. I don't know if he came in. Let's see. How did we get his license in 2024? In 2024? I'm sorry, of course. 26. Okay, that makes sense. Sorry, my brain went elsewhere. I'm just looking for the ticket.
I think because it was brought up, since it was 2019, like number two systems, it must be in one of the older systems.
So it would
I
be
could
in,
go into LT, but I could go into.
it should be, well, I don't know for sure. Yeah. I'm just trying to run it down and make sure it has everything that it needs to have.
Okay.
Got somebody coming in. I'm just gonna look at them. If you find
Hi,
it.
good morning. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name?
So I'm Attorney Kramer. And I got an email, but I don't know the client's name. It just gave me a case number.
You don't know your client's name?
I'm Attorney Kramer with a, well, so the email just had it just had a case number. It didn't have a defendant's name. Let me see if I can search something up.
Can I get the case number from you?
Yeah, yes, 1 second, Judge.
Hold on, I'm gonna mute you for a moment because I'm gonna work with a couple of other people. Oh, I thought Mr. Matson came through. Never mind. Okay, did you find it?
Yes, it's CPD 234-2323.
Let me see what I can find. I'll be right back with
Thank you. Thank you.
And Mr. Cozart, I've not forgotten about you. I have a clerk working on that for us for a moment.
Okay.
This is LT. It's the same thing. It was brought over on LT with nothing.
Can you ask Aaron to pull Questus and see if we can just get a copy of the citation and anything else that any notes? Because I also don't. Okay, let me see what I can find with that case number because I don't.
And see if you can find the citation and new notes on Cozart.
Okay, he is on the Chiranjit Sandhu case. I don't know if we, yeah, and we have him scheduled. He's on here. Yep. He filed an attorney letter on the 16th of January and got set for today. Okay. I found your client's name and it's actually Charanjit Singh Sandhu. And the last name is spelled Sandhu. And the prosecutor is Ryan Matson. And there's a few people ahead of you, Mr. Kramer, but we'll be with you shortly. Okay. Sorry, you're muted. So.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm Judge Person.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Mr. Cozart, I'm just, we have the time. I have somebody pulling the file. It's kind of in our older system. And I just want to see everything that happened there on our end. Okay. So
Okay. Yeah, that's fine, Judge.
they're getting that for me and I'll be with you soon. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. On Miss Ellison, the insurance case has already been dismissed. Okay, Mr. Matson, Mr. Allen, let's check in on the Marshall case.
Judge, if we could get a 60-day reset on this case as well, there are just a couple other things that we need to address between several different departments, and I think we need a bit more time to do that.
Okay, I do want to ask a question, and I don't mind the request at all, but there are two charges. They are the same. I believe they arise out of the same situation, but they are on different dates. One is December 4th and the other is October 12th of 2023. And I have a rep letter on, I believe, just one. Is that right? Yes.
Yes, Your Honor, I was not aware of the one in October,
Okay.
but it is the same matter.
Yeah. And that one's in warrant, and that's why I want to just find out if you're representing on both. Do you need time to discuss it with that person?
I don't need to discuss it. I am representing him.
Okay, I will move both of those cases forward and recall that warrant.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So we're looking at the March. Are we coming back to Zoom, gentlemen, or are we going live?
I don't have a problem with Zoom, Your Honor. I think the April 16th date would be what we're looking for, though, so that we have a bit more time to get everything figured out.
That's right. I'm sorry. Yes, April 16th works fine for the court. Will that work for you both?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, we'll keep moving forward and we'll send that reset on both cases. And if you could email back clarifying that, yes, it is for both. That would be just a simple line from you would work fine, Mr. Allen. And then, we'll move that along.
All right. Thank you.
Can we use the email that we used to set up the meeting today?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, then we'll see you then.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You're good to leave without further request. Mr. Matson, Tiffany Ellison is next. I believe she's still in the meeting, but I'm going to ask her to unmute. And I think she's on, I'm not sure. I think she's on a single device. So let me move you over to that meeting, Miss Ellison. Okay.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
She did have something happen with the ride and she conveyed that to the court. She's trying to get her license, and it's just at this point I need an agreement if we're continuing. She does have another appointment.
Yes, Your Honor. I did actually receive that from her as well. If we want to just go ahead and do a 2-week reset now, I have no objection to that.
Let's do that because she's on a hotspot situation and that can run into some expense, and I just want to be mindful. Can we reschedule everybody to Zoom on the 20th of this month?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
I'm
Your
sorry,
Honor.
I forgot to look at your scheduled date, Miss Ellison. Remind me when that is.
It's February 8th.
Okay, so you should have a pretty good feel. If you'll send everything in for him to look at beforehand, that can be helpful. That can move things along as well, because he does review the cases before
I
he.
sent it in to him this morning.
Okay, all right. I mean, when you get your license, send it on
Yes,
in.
ma'am. I sure will.
Yes. Okay, I will just approve that agreed reset. And that'll be Zoom, and we'll email it to the email that we have on file for you, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. You're good to hang up when you're ready.
Okay.
And then Tina Evans is the next person, and Miss Evans, I'll move you over to that meeting. Yes, ma'am. And let's see. Oops, I accidentally moved Miss Ellison over. If she hangs up, it'll be fine, but. Let me move Miss Ellison back. Oh my goodness. Miss Evans, can you hear me? Her system seems to be in limbo. Well, we'll see what happens. That's the first time I've done that. Evans. Actually, okay, looks like things are calming down. Did we find out anything from? Oh, thank you. So let's scroll down to the bottom. Let me see that signature. Okay, so he had a court date. 4th. 2019. Actually, let me get him up. Okay. What was the address? 203 North Front Street, Holland, Texas. And is that it? This one here. This is the. Yeah, that's what I wanted to. I wonder. In the. Can you show me the screen that connects to LT? The entries in LT. Yes. Thank you, that helped. Many notes. Because I'd like to know when that came in. Warren is what came out. And Can you scroll down to the bottom? So we got it. It was converted over. What was our software before? Let's see, I forgot the name of it. Court. That was our hard paper with HTE. That's what I'm missing. Do we have HTE on the computer? Can you ask Aaron just when that case was filed versus when, I just want to compare it.
She's looking for, when that case was filed on Kart. Is it in the?
Let me get
It's she's interested in the first one, not the ones about the animals.
Go down to the next page. The registration.
Yes, the registration. Yes. Yes. She said that it's on the top of the ticket, February 19th.
No. February 19th is when it was received.
Was February 19th when we received the ticket? February 5th, 2019, and that's when we received the ticket.
The same day that it happened.
That's when it was issued.
Yeah, I don't. When did we get it in?
When did we get the ticket in? It's all transferred over and this was.
Mr. Matson, where are we on the Evans case?
On,
Your Honor, this is another one where I'd like to request a 60-day reset to give Miss Evans time to meet with her doctor. I believe that we'll be able to resolve it before then, but I think 60 days is going to be necessary just to give her time to do so.
Yes, I understand. So I'll put it on Zoom for the 16th of April.
That would be great.
Will that work for you both, Miss Evans?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll email that to the email that we have on file.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And you're good to hang up when you're ready.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Matson, I'll move you forward. Let me just get back on screen. Okay. And our next party would be Russell Ruth. Russell Ruth, can you get on screen and unmute?
Good morning, Judge.
Morning. I'm going to move you over to the meeting with Mr. Matson.
Okay,
There he goes.
just if I can get to that, and I don't have it on this. Okay, thank you. She can look in that software and see if there's any notes and send it over.
Thank you. We've had a few conversions on our software, so I'm just running down some details for Mr. Cozart. So it's a little stressful for the clerks when I do this, but they manage well. What's that? Oh, thank you.
I think she sent it to you too. It might be easier.
Okay, I'll look there then. So it looks like that was received the next day. Okay, Mr. Cozart,
Yes, ma'am.
I think the way forward is going to be, I need to get the community service hours from you.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I just figured I'd let you know, because I mean, I brought the citation in, and I gave it to the clerk, and she never found it in the system, so I don't know if it was.
Our system shows that it was here the next day, so I don't know where the confusion was, but
Oh, yes, ma'am. That's totally fine. I mean, I'm not mad about it or nothing. I just.
yeah, I don't see a reason to be. But let me go ahead and recall your warrants.
Okay.
We'll send everything over to you with your deadlines. If you have any questions, you can email back and they'll get the question over to me, okay?
Okay.
It should be pretty self-explanatory. We try to
Okay. Thank you so much.
make it usable friendly so that it's not a stress for people, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll send that over to the email that we used. We did have return when there was a problem. We actually sent a letter. It was about 2 weeks after your court date, and it came back. That was Holland. So now we have your new address. Just keep it current until we're done with this process, okay?
Yes, ma'am. So, when I renew my license, it will have my current address on it. So,
I don't have to have the license in order to change your address here if you will do it in writing.
okay. Yes, ma'am. I will do that when I get all the paperwork.
Sounds great. We have the current one at Tatum, so unless you've moved since then,
No, ma'am.
we're
I'm
good.
still there.
Okay, yeah. If you change addresses or emails for that matter, let us know. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
We want to stay in touch with you till things are resolved.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Thank you so
All right.
much.
Thank you, sir. You're good to go, but we'll email that to you sometime this morning.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Mr. Matson. I'm getting Miss Ruth back over, or Mr. Ruth, excuse me. Actually, he's here, perhaps. There he is. I'm sorry, I had him behind a different screen that was blocking my view. Where are we on the single charge?
Your Honor, if we could just a 2-week reset on this case, Mr. Ruth is gonna try to obtain some documentation for me.
Okay, so that would move us to, let's see, let me get back over to that screen. The 20th of February.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are we okay to stay on Zoom?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay with you, Mr. Ruth?
Yes.
Okay, we'll send that to the email that we used for today. Will that continue to work?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. You're good to go. We'll send that out shortly.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Matson, moving you forward with Fausto Jimenez. Mr. Jimenez, can you unmute and hopefully maybe get on screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Are you able to get on screen?
I was working on the camera. I'm on the computer. Oh, it's not working at all.
Okay. Just can you tell me your date of birth?
April 5th, 1979.
And do you have your license handy?
I do, ma'am.
Can you give me the last 3 digits?
761.
Okay, I'll move you over to that meeting with Mr. Matson.
Okay.
Thank you for running all that down. I'm just curious when people tell me a thing like that, but I'll be right with y'all.
No problem, Your Honor.
Okay, let's see. Okay, let's get a check-in on the single charge regarding Mr. Jimenez.
So, Your Honor, Mr. Jimenez has indicated that he has an updated placard and paperwork from his doctor, and he would like to bring that to the court in the next 30 minutes to be scanned into his file. I told him I would dismiss his charge once that was received. So I don't know if you'd like to just reset him for a week, and then he can be removed from the docket once it's been brought in.
So in a week it's live. I can just reset him if I don't receive that today. If by the end of business we don't have it, then I'll reset for the 20th of February. Will that work for you both?
That works great, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, very good. If you'll bring that in, if that's the goal today, we'll get it over to Mr. Matson.
I got it, Judge.
Okay, very good. Thank you. You're good to exit when you're ready. Attorney Kramer is here today, and Mr. Kramer, if you could just unmute and get back on screen, and I will move you over to that breakout meeting with the prosecutor, Mr. Matson.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes, he's here on the Sandu case.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. There he goes. %100% turnout rate, so that's nice. Put forward to prosecutor if received today. Okay. Let's go ahead and get an update.
Judge, we're going to
Thank you, Judge. Good.
On terms of deferral.
Okay.
It's going to be a payment within 30 days, a 6-hour course by day 60 on a 120-day deferral period.
Okay. So payment date is going to be March 7th. Driver safety course date would be April 8th. End of the deferral would be June 6th. And I'll put that in writing and email it over to you, Mr. Kramer.
Thank you, Judge.
Can you print it, sign it, and email it back today?
Yeah, I'll do it the next 10 minutes. I'm sorry, I overlooked our previous paperwork on that, but yeah, I'll send it right back. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, we'll get it over to you shortly.
Thank you, Judge. You have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.